guys, Darren from FBA Elite and welcome back to another video. So I'm not in the office today, instead I'm in the annex as we've just had a big delivery as part of the new Amazon product that we're going to be launching on Amazon starting today. So in last week's video I mentioned that I've got a product launch coming up as we're launching a new business, a new brand, a new product for my wife's business, and I said I'd keep you guys updated as to how that goes. So we just had a half of the inventory delivered to us and the other half has gone to the Amazon fulfillment center. So I need to explain why I've got half of this inventory in the first place. As a new seller, you don't want to be in this situation, and it's the first time it's happened to me in 6 years, so you can avoid this ever happening. And I think I've got some more boxes turning up tomorrow, so that's going to be fun. So I need to explain that first, and I also need to explain what happens in week one. What am I doing in week one, and what do you guys need to be doing in week one, so that when you come to launch your product, you know what to expect and you know what to do. So let me take a seat first so we can go through both of those topics. So number one, why have I got all of these boxes in front of me? Well, usually when you order your inventory from China, it goes straight to Amazon and I don't ever touch it, and hopefully you guys won't ever touch it either. We do an inspection in China to make sure everything's up to scratch, but other than that, we don't see or touch the goods. Now the problem is, if you've got a brand new Amazon seller account, you shouldn't have any inventory limits. So you should be able to send all of the inventory to Amazon. My issue is the account we're using is actually a 1-year-old Amazon account, because we set it up last year to experiment with arbitrage. And we did arbitrage for kind of 6 weeks. We did about 15 grand of sales, but it was so time and labor intensive, finding the deals, ordering them, packaging them up, sending to Amazon, that we just decided that the margins just weren't worth it. So we stopped that and then planned to launch a private label business instead, just like I've been doing with my other business for the past 6 years. So we've been building this brand and getting it ready. But when we came to create the shipping plan, we've got 1,000 units in China ready to go. We've created the shipping plan, and then Amazon says you don't have large enough storage capacity at Amazon. So we've had to split the shipment. So with a new account, you shouldn't face this issue. But as we've got an account that's a year old and we stopped selling, Amazon started reducing our availability every single week over the past year until we got to the absolute minimum, which I think is 100 square feet. So we've sent half of the inventory to Amazon, we've got the other half here, and we'll drip feed this when the inventory starts to sell out at Amazon. So that's why I've got this inventory. Hopefully you guys won't have the same issue. So week one, what are some of the things I'll be doing at the moment that you guys need to consider when you launch your first product on Amazon? The first thing, when your product arrives at Amazon, do not turn on your PPC straight away. As tempting as it is, I want you to be patient. I want you to monitor your actual Amazon listing to see what the prime delivery date is showing on Amazon. And until it shows next day delivery is available, do not turn on your PPC. If you turn on PPC and your listing showing 3, 4, 5 day delivery, then customers aren't going to buy your product. You're going to have a poor click-through rate, you're going to have a poor conversion rate, and you're going to waste money on PPC. So wait until your product is available for next day delivery and then activate your PPC, even if it means leaving your inventory at the Amazon fulfillment center for 3, 4, 5 days until that time frame is shortened to next day. So that's the first thing. The next thing is to turn on your PPC. Hopefully if you've watched all my other videos, you'll know what PPC to set up. If you are unsure, I'm going to link to the PPC launch strategy that I use at the end of this video. So you turn on your PPC, and then you also need to have an aggressive price point, which I covered in a recent video as well. So at the end of this video, I'm going to link to both of those videos. 1, the PPC strategy, and 2, the aggressive pricing strategy to launch your product. And once you've done those 2 things, it's then a waiting game. So don't be eager to make changes to your PPC based on 1 day's data. Don't go in there and start pausing keywords, especially exact match keywords based on a few clicks. You don't want to pause a keyword until it's kind of maybe 10 to 20 clicks and it hasn't sold, or the ACOS is super high. And even if it does have a high ACOS, in the first few weeks, when you haven't got any reviews or very, very few reviews, you may still have a poor conversion rate compared to long term. So don't be too keen to just turn off keywords that you've added to your campaigns. Now, if you're using broad match, phrase match, or auto campaigns, absolutely every 24 hours log on and make sure that Amazon hasn't used any search terms that are irrelevant to your product. It'll be very clear if they're irrelevant. If they are, add them as a negative keyword. Now, if you're only using exact match campaigns, which is what I recommend, then you won't have this issue, as you're only going to be targeting the keywords that you add to those campaigns. And if you've done your keyword research correctly for when you created your listing and created your PPC campaigns, you shouldn't have any issues or any need in the first week or 2 really to pause any of those keywords, as you're just going to be waiting for data. So What I would do after the first 24 hours, I'd log on the next morning, as that's how long it takes generally to get the first keyword report available. I'd download that report and I'd see how much of my daily budget I was using. And if you've got multiple campaigns, look for each campaign to see how much of your daily budget you're using. If you're not using all of your daily budget, then you're probably going to need to increase your bids. If you're not getting enough clicks, you're going to need to increase your bids. If you are using up all your daily budget, then you probably can get away with reducing your bids slightly. So you either need to increase or decrease your bids to find the optimal point where you're getting the max amount of clicks for your money. If you reduce it too much, you won't use up your daily budget. And if you go too high, you'll use up your daily budget super quick during the day. So it's a balancing game. And also you then adjust your overall daily budget based on how many sales you need to achieve. So that's the first thing you want to be looking at in week one, is just tweaking the bids up and down to use up those daily budgets. Now, if you've segregated your search terms, your keywords, your exact match campaigns by search volume, which is what I recommend, you're going to find that your high volume campaigns are very likely to use up their daily budget, but the low volume campaigns are unlikely to. So you may not need to increase the bids on those low volumes. Check the impressions. If they're getting impressions, then that should be fine. It's just a numbers game, really. If a keyword's got 30,000 search volume a month versus maybe 500 search volume a month, it's going to take longer to accumulate that data. And that's why high volume ones will generally use up their daily budget pretty much all the time versus the low volume ones, which won't. The other thing you want to look at is adding negative keywords if you're using either broad match, phrase match, or auto match campaigns. So if Amazon have introduced any search terms based on those, then you should check your report every 24 hours. And if there's anything relevant, make sure you add it to that campaign. Other than that, there isn't a huge amount to do with your PPC in the first week. The other things that I've been doing and you want to do for your product as soon as your product is live is, number one, add all of the keywords that you're targeting with your PPC exact match campaigns, add them to the Helium 10 keyword tracker so that can track your organic ranks. So you can see a direct correlation between the keywords you're targeting with PPC and how those organic ranks respond over the next few weeks, with hopefully the sales that the PPC campaigns are going to drive. And that way, with that direct correlation, you know whether you're getting value for money. If you're investing in a particular keyword, is that organic rank improving? The second thing you need to do is add your product itself to the product tracker in Helium 10, which is called alerts, so that you get an email alert if Amazon make any changes to your listing or if someone else does something to it. So for example, maybe Amazon remeasure your product and put you into the incorrect tier and you're paying a massive fulfillment fee that you shouldn't be paying, you'll get an alert. Maybe another seller makes a change to your listing, maybe they change the main image or the title so your listing doesn't perform as well as it should, or perhaps you get your first 5-star review or your first 1-star review. You can get these alerts so you can monitor your listing. But that's pretty much it for week one. We don't do an awful lot in week one other than those things. The only other thing you may do, if you're inclined to, is arrange your first 5-star review. Now, don't make that your first sale. Try and get 3 to 5 sales under your belt first via PPC, and then arrange for someone, a distant contact, not a family member or a close friend who's been at your house, or you've had an Amazon delivery to their house, or anything like that, anything that makes it easy for Amazon to connect you two together. Someone a bit more distant than that. Get them to buy your product. Ask them if they'd leave a review. Hopefully it will be 5-star, but obviously you can't tell them to do that because that begins terms of service. And ask them to leave some photos with the review as well, as generally photo reviews get voted most helpful and stay at the top of the review list. And then when that 5-star review appears, your conversion rate will improve even further. And that will kind of take you into week 2. And that's when things start to get really interesting. So what I'll do is I'll post another update either next week or the week after, talking you through the end of week 1 and into week 2 and potentially into week 3 to let you know how it's going for my products or our products, shall I say. Even if things don't go to plan, I'll let you guys know how it goes, because even when something doesn't work out on Amazon, you still learn an awful lot. But hopefully this product does well, and I can tell you guys all about it, and it will inspire you to start your own Amazon FBA business. Now, what I'm going to do now is there's 3 things. Number 1, there are discount codes to Helium 10 in the pinned top comment. So if you want to use the keyword tracker or alerts or do your product research using X-Ray, there's some discount codes in the pinned top comment. I'm going to pop up 2 videos. The first one is the PPC strategy, the Amazon launch strategy that I use for launching products on Amazon. And number 2 is the aggressive pricing strategy I use. Watch both of those videos and that will tell you exactly how I launch a product in 2024 and beyond. And I'll see you guys in either one of those.